5, 9, 8, 7, 3, 9, 4.
Okay, now you're confusing people. Ignore Darren.
Hello and welcome to episode 122 of Unrelenting. I am Darren O'Neill, is Gene of Julia, and if you work for CrowdStrike, you are very tired right now. That was
very tired.
They are saying, do we believe this is the largest IT outage in the history of mankind?
In the U.S.
So that's close enough. When it comes to the media, that's like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Now, people immediately get worried, like, oh, it's a cyber attack. It's cyber. They're coming for us, man. First they came for Trump. Now they're coming for the computers, man. No.
Well, I mean, are they?
Maybe. Conspiracy theories.
A lot of computers went blue yesterday.
There are a lot of conspiracy theorists who are very happy with the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has happened at all since the last show of Unrelenting, which was described as a fun show by Adam Curry.
That was a fun show. Yeah, it's a fun show. We have fun. We have fun making it, right?
This is true. That's really, which is all that is important.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We have fun. Nothing's happened in the world since last week. Not even sure where to start. I mean, I guess the IT thing is the biggest when it comes to the most immediate with where we find out how ingrained we are now as a society where surgeries are getting canceled, flights are getting, all of these things are working on systems that are all tied together and at the mercy. And a lot of people have probably never even heard CrowdStrike before now because they're like, was that Microsoft? I don't understand. Why are updates for this taking down computers all over the world? Can you explain that to them, Gene?
No.
They come here for the hardest hitting, most in-depth analysis of these things. Could we explain it? No.
It's been a long night in Austin, dude.
Really? What's happened in Austin?
CrowdStrike's in Austin.
Oh, is it? So have you been hearing from a lot of people with, is there a lot of people looking for new jobs? Are they looking quickly to, they're like, yeah, Gene, can you hook me up with another company before this really hits? Because there's a lot of people about to get fired.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people going to get fired.
When you cause a worldwide outage of such epic proportions. I like it was pointed out, this isn't affecting anything running Linux or Mac OS.
That's absolutely true. All the Macs kept running yesterday.
So it's kind of a, not really, is it warranted, the whole Microsoft takedown for this particular incident? Was this a Microsoft problem or was this a third-party issue?
Well, I mean, it was a third-party related issue, I think. Yeah, but honestly, we don't really know shit right now.
Well, this is what the internet does. We speculate. My computer didn't go down, so I'm happy.
I mean, it's obviously going to be a group of people that just blames Russia.
Right. So obviously Putin is at fault here.
Automatically. Yeah. I
mean, you could blame Iran. They also they tried going after the United States.
There'll be a different
embassy.
group blaming Iran.
Yeah, they've just fired on Israel again, and it seems like maybe hit the United States embassy. Right?
Yeah, in southern Israel. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that could be a big part of that. We had the Republican National Convention wrapping up yesterday,
and nobody could get a flight out.
And True, that'd be interesting. Everybody kind of stuck if you're having travel issues in and out. I mean, Kid Rock.
Yeah, I think that was a huge thing because all three of the major airlines basically grounded their flights.
It was like, we don't want to crash. We don't want to be the ones.
Yeah, for a change, it's not Boeing's fault.
And it's a question of because I don't think any of the systems that are used by air traffic control, do those run Windows? I mean, I thought those were still like pre-Windows era type operating systems.
They all run. They totally run Windows, dude. I have a whole collection of blue screens at airports that I've shut.
Makes you feel good right before you get on a plane.
Well, okay. So the airport systems, not the airplane systems.
Right. They are different.
Yeah, for sure.
But you figure the technology in the air traffic control, I thought that was still going back into like the 60s and 70s, some of the stuff they're still using.
Apparently not.
Because that was a big push. Like, we need to modernize our system so we can have blue screens of death. Yay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we know for certain that every bit of software out there has bugs. And when you connect these things to the internet, to the rest of the world, to something else, then that becomes an issue, because security was way easier before everybody was connected.
Yes, that's true. It was a different type of security for sure.
All right. The companies were only worried about having their software multiplied for free.
Well, yeah, but security, I mean, there was certainly viruses before wide internet days.
Yeah, but they did different things because they weren't trying to take your data. They were just trying to put something up on your screen that was like, ha, pwned you, buddy.
Yeah, that's true.
Those were the good old days when you tried to put some crack software.
They were more mischievous than anything else.
Uh-huh. And they still spread. That was the beauty of it.
Or they commemorated like Jodie Foster's birthday or something.
Right. Something fun.
Not for the people that were trying to work, but sure.
Yeah, well, then you're like, don't use pirated software, dude.
Yeah, well, that's true, Darren.
Get in on the get in on CrowdStrike. They will keep all of your software up to date and no problems at all. No problems at all. But this really, it shows the problem with being so reliant on this technology. And I know we are old guys.
Old guys, yes.
I remember back in the day when people used to put a credit card in a thing and swipe it. And I'm not saying that technology was better when you had all the paperwork. But I remember...
You don't mean swipe it. You mean like run the machine over the top for the imprint.
Correct. That's what originally when you said you're going to swipe somebody's credit card, it didn't mean you were going to steal it.
Right, but swiping is passing you through a magnetic reader. So you're confusing people.
Well, they originally used to call that swiping, wasn't it, when you put it in? What did you call it?
No, that was not. No, it wasn't swiping.
What was the term for that?
Yeah, what was the term? Because there was no swipe involved. It was you basically put the card down flat, and then you put paper with carbon copies over the card, and then you move a pressure roller over back and forth
to take an imprint.
That's not a swipe.
It was right, because you're going back and forth.
It was like a clunk clunk kind of thing. What the hell is the term for it?
I don't know.
Let me run your card.
Maybe
something like that. I don't think it was swipe though, because swipe came in when you swipe your card through the slot. That was the swipe.
Maybe it was always swipe. Maybe it was just a different swipe.
Yeah, but that's swipe is not the correct word for that process or for that movement.
But I remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, working retail.
Yeah.
For Circuit Shitty and Radio Crack. And when the computers would go down, they still expected you to take orders manually. I mean, it wasn't oh, the computer's down, we can't do any business.
Oh, people love doing that. Here, let me just go ahead and get an imprint of your card here, and
I'll save it for later to make sure.
I'll just punch it in myself later and make sure I get all the amounts correct.
That's how you stole credit card numbers back in the day, kids. It was
plenty of that going on back then.
It was a much more manual thing, but it was also much harder to get traced
they
down.
Still have RadioShack in American Truck Sim.
Really interesting.
Yeah, as I'm driving around, I see RadioShack stores all over the place.
Like good old days. Used to be a RadioShack on like every corner. They were like Walgreens.
they're very prolific there.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a reason you needed your gear back in the day.
You needed to get a new phone.
Well, this was even before
speaker cable.
Right. I mean, and we're talking Bakelite phones, the kind you hang on the wall.
Right. That's what I meant.
With rotary dials.
Not a cell phone. Not a cell phone.
They
sold those too.
Right. I had one of those, man. My first cell phone, I think. Well, that was a hand-me-down from a guy that I took an old one out of the car, but the next one was a RadioShack with a battery unit, and it was huge. And then they came out with the handheld ones, which were still huge.
Yeah, the first generation handhelds, the bricks, were something else. And you always saw, probably for a couple of years there, they showed up in Hollywood movies as like rich people phones.
Right. Well, because who else would have
look at Donald Trump talking on his portable phone. Holy cow.
Yes, he's a very rich man. He is powerful.
Yes. He walks out of an airplane and then somebody hands him a brick.
But back when, I was like 13, 14, it was great getting the RadioShack catalog, man. Looking through that at all of the audio gear.
I preferred the Sears catalog.
You're looking at what? The bra ads that you're like, Gene's like, ooh.
Exactly. There you go. That was the Sears catalog was basically the Playboy of a whole generation, probably several generations of farm kids.
They're like, hey, man, did you see that? Page 467, man.
Yeah, my mom doesn't have anything like that.
Oh, hey, there's an ISO. Oh, my.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. But the RadioShack, I loved it. Wanted everything. Wanted the CB stuff. As we talked about on the previous episode.
I think I had a CB from RadioShack.
See?
I mean, trying to remember if it was a Realistic or a Kodra.
Did they sell Kodra back at RadioShack back in the day?
I think so. Yeah,
because I know we had a Kodra.
It wasn't just their brand; they also sold other stuff. Now, I still remember when RadioShack carried vacuum tubes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, back in the 80s. Doing inventory at a RadioShack was not any fun.
Oh, I bet. There's a ton of tiny little things.
Yes. Do we really need to count those? Let's just count the big stuff. Let's just assume all the small stuff is fine. Come on. They had some of the earliest computers.
Yeah.
And I always wanted a Commodore 64, but somehow I ended up with was probably what I asked for first was the Trash 80 color computer, which maybe did come out right before the Commodore 64.
Yeah, I didn't realize the TRS was a color.
Yeah.
I thought it was green and white or green and black.
Which is why they call these the color computer.
Oh, that was the Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest downfall of it, though, for whatever reason, I mean, I understand the technology back in the day, kids. You had to plug this into a television, and the resolution on a television wasn't great.
It's crap.
But where other devices, including the Commodore 64 and others, went to 40 characters wide, then 80, the color computer was 32.
32 wide?
Yes, which made going to any fucking bulletin boards or online things that were doing the cute little boxes with the hashes and stuff for the 40 wide.
You couldn't see anything.
No.
It was all trash.
Yes. It was horrible.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's funny.
It's like, that was absolutely horrible. And I was like, what do you do? Why? No, 32. Why? But now we have a much different world where we have much different computer problems. Thank you, CrowdStrike. How you doing, everybody? In Austin.
Yeah, but you could. Yeah.
Did this generate a lot of calls to you? Because you are the tech guy. You are multi-talented in what could be needed in a situation like this.
Yeah, well, I was awake 4 hours ago. Let's just say that.
Well, hopefully they're at least paying you better than this podcast pays.
Said anything about paying?
You're just doing this out of the kindness of your heart, man. CSB, you should really send him a nice big boost for doing these things out of the kindness of his heart. I mean, it is nice that CSB is sending in ads to other shows.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and I think it's actually hilarious when other shows get a donation that points to one of my shows.
And there we go, CSB 3333. It says www.csb.lol. Kurva.
There you go.
Kurva. I always want to say that incorrectly for some reason.
Why? I thought your Polish background
part
makes you say it correctly.
Yeah, I know. I think sit down. I think
the Irish screwed up.
Yeah, it's easier to do an Irish accent than the Polish.
I figured out something hilarious yesterday.
If you put this certain code into the CrowdStrike update, you take the world down. Gene's like, I was messing around. I was like, no, put this in there. It'll make everything work. It'll optimize everything. Okay, Gene, you sure this will work? This looks a little weird. No, it's fine. Do it. Just push the update.
Yeah.
Famous final words.
Push the update. Yeah. It's ironically, I haven't updated my Windows for over a week now. And it still works.
It is amazing, isn't it, that you don't need the minute-by-minute updates. I mean, for security updates, I understand why. I'm still running on Windows 10.
No, I mean security updates. I paused mine a week ago.
And you haven't? Did you know what was? Wait, why? Did you know something was coming?
I know nothing.
Did you know something was coming down the bike?
I prefer my computer to keep working. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is also why you just up to a Mac operating system on another machine, so that way when the Windows one goes down, you have something to go look on the internet for what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've got both sitting within close proximity. We're on the Mac right now, but obviously I do my gaming on the PC.
Everybody should have a Mac or a Linux system waiting to go just in case.
Or just use that regularly. And now even my buddy Ben's got a Mac system.
Whoa, dude named Ben went to the Mac?
Uh-huh.
That's hard to believe.
Only took me 2 years.
He got daily, like, dude, you need to try this.
Oh, no, it's all subliminal, dude. I've just been recording loops for him that he doesn't realize he's listening to.
I can believe that. We're not saying we are brainwashing you on Unrelenting, but we're not saying it.
Yes. So, yeah, the Amazon servers were still running. I don't know. There's reports of Amazon having outages, but I think those were Amazon desktops, not Amazon servers.
Interesting. So anybody that's not using now, why do people use CrowdStrike for updates? What is the point rather than just getting updates from Microsoft directly for the usual, operating system updates? What does CrowdStrike provide?
Blue screens of death?
Well, now, sure. But I'm assuming this is something people pay extra for. It's allegedly something. Is it allegedly, what is it sold as? Why do companies go into, take this from CrowdStrike? I mean, I'm not 100% sure what their business model is when it gets down to specifics.
Well, they have a pretty good marketing team.
So they convince you that you need them.
Yeah.
And then you buy them.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into any details about those guys.
No, I just wanted to know, what is the business model? Why? Because obviously a lot of people around the world are connected to them. Is this...
Yeah, like the Clintons.
Is this supposed to just be more security? Is this supposed to be faster updates? Is this supposed to be... What is their overall business? I mean, I guess I could just look them up or ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Be like, what is CrowdStrike? And they'll be like, the company.
Oh, you're gonna. If you don't know who they are, you're gonna know a lot of things they've done.
This is the kind of material that's great for the show, isn't it?
Check ChatGPT.
It'll be like, I can tell you nothing about.
It's a company in Austin. That's all you need to know.
It's allegedly a company that allegedly is in Austin. It is a cybersecurity technology company that provides cloud-delivered endpoint protection.
Mm-hmm.
It offers a platform called Falcon. Oh, I guess the Falcon's dead. Wasn't there a Falcon Crest? That was a soap opera back in the day, wasn't it? Falcon Crest.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but that sounds familiar.
It delivers next generation antivirus. Well, yeah, it is. When it takes everything down, that's next generation.
Mm-hmm.
Endpoint detection and response, managed threat hunting, and threat intelligence, or lack thereof, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Ned's like, this show's still on? No. You're on drugs. You're imagining this, Ned. You are not even tuned in.
We actually have just been recording it and not having it on the web live for several episodes.
Yeah, people don't even get it. Cloud-based. Yeah, unlike traditional cybersecurity solutions, they're installed on individual devices. CrowdStrike's Falcon platform operates in the cloud. This allows for faster deployment, better scalability, and more comprehensive threat intelligence, or instantaneous takedowns of the whole world's computer system.
Yeah, see, that's all marketing right there.
Yes.
Keep reading.
And threat intelligence, they gathered and analyzed data from millions of endpoints.
Okay, is there anything beyond the ad that it returns back to you?
Let's see, AI and machine learning. Oh, wait, it uses AI. Now, is this where the problem went? Is this the AI trying to take us down? They offer incident response, key differentiators. They're known for their speed and efficiency in responding to threats.
That's all literally just marketing talk. Jesus, yeah. I thought it was, okay, do this.
Yeah.
Search for CrowdStrike and Trump.
Ooh, tell me, there's a connection? Let's just say CrowdStrike and, I put CrowdStrike, but it became widely known in political discussions to a controversy involving Donald Trump. The DNC hack. Ooh, are they trying to cover this up now?
Well, what does it say?
The Democratic National Convention in 2016 suffered a cyber attack where emails and other documents were stolen and later leaked. CrowdStrike was hired by the DNC to investigate. They attributed the hack to two groups associated with Russian intelligence. Oh, these were the fuckers that came up with the Russian collusion?
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden they are, well, can we dare say in the crosshairs? Is that too violent in this particular climate?
Yes.
The report suggested the groups known as Fancy Bear and Cozy Bear were behind the intrusion. See, this is why I've heard CrowdStrike, but I had no idea where or why. And so it turned out it wasn't the Russians, huh? Trump made several references to CrowdStrike on a phone call with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. He asked him to look into a conspiracy theory suggesting the DN server was somehow linked to Ukraine and that CrowdStrike being involved in the investigation had hidden information on a server in Ukraine. This theory has been widely debunked. But that you're not saying it's been disproven, though, ChatGPT, are you? You're saying it's been widely debunked. And, it's kind of like when Joe Biden says, I know how to tell the truth. Well, yeah, but you're not saying you are telling the truth.
When's the last time that happened?
Right. Could you be a little bit more specific? Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Let's see. CSB has a CrowdStrike fix for us, which I believe he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, get a Mac.
3333 CrowdStrike fix. 1, boot Windows into safe mode in the recovery environment. 2, navigate to see Windows system drivers CrowdStrike directory. 3, locate the file matching C-00000291.sys and delete it. Boot back normally. CSB's telling you if your machine's down, that's how you take care of it. I believe that. I was
going to say, just get a Mac.
Get a Mac. That's also another way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
In the impeachment inquiry, again, CrowdStrike, with the focus on whether Trump had solicited foreign interference in the 2020 presidential election by asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and his son Hunter, as well as the CrowdStrike theory. What ChatGPT, they are both interchangeable. What ChatGPT doesn't mention.
Chat CSB.
Yeah, I love Chat CSB. Now, I would totally get my money down.
You would use that
on Chat CSB.
Mm-hmm.
What they don't mention is that Ukraine and the United States had a treaty already in place about sharing intelligence. Mm-hmm. So Trump asking the leader of Ukraine to look into something that could be related to his country, there was absolutely nothing wrong with that. And the media, again, lies. They play these things up. They take things out of context. Just like they said when, he told a guy in, was it Georgia, you got to find me those votes. He didn't say make them up. He didn't say create them. He didn't say fabricate them. No, he said find. You can only find something that's there. But the Democrats don't know what fucking language is, I guess.
Well, that's been the case for a while.
The server myth. The notion that CrowdStrike had taken a physical server to Ukraine is incorrect. CrowdStrike analyzed the DNC hack using forensic copies of the server's data, a common practice. There was no physical server involved. Well, there technically was a physical server involved somewhere, because if you don't have a physical server, what are you putting the information on? The copy or whatever it is. So
yeah, that's true. They do generally just image it first and then do everything on the image, not the original.
CrowdStrike's role in the DNC hack investigation placed it at the center of political debates and conspiracy theories, particularly during the Trump presidency. It's back. Despite the controversies, the technical findings and methodologies used by CrowdStrike remain well regarded in the cybersecurity community. I guess the question today is, how well regarded is CrowdStrike in the community?
Yeah, I think checking their stock would probably tell you more.
I think it was down like 9% this morning. Has it gone further down? Are we watching this minute by minute?
I'm not. I'm watching Tesla mostly.
You're like, Tesla to the moon, baby. Elon sending Trump $45 million a month up until the election, and Trump's like, fuck these electric vehicles, man. It's an interesting combination there, although Trump's like, you know what? I like electric vehicles. There's a reason for them, but I don't want people forced to buy them.
Yeah, and that's the right attitude.
Yes.
What was that?
The C. Brooklyn coming in with 7777. This whole thing smells fishy. You know C. Brooklyn. He actually had a quote we put on the artwork for the last episode saying this was one of the most underrated shows out there.
Yeah. No, he's generally right.
So, of course, now he's like, I like what this guy says. Thank you, C. Brooklyn. We are lit. We are open. The boostograms are on. You too can make it go pew pew. You just got to send a nice big boost. So CrowdStrike, this is going to be interesting. This is a little bit more ingrained in the politics and the rest of the real world outside of the tech world than I at first realized. Because again, I'm like, I heard CrowdStrike. Why have I heard CrowdStrike? I didn't look it up, but I guess again, I'm old. I need some of that B12 you were ordering.
Oh yeah, let me take that as that's a good. See, it's good to have you on the phone reminding me.
Gene,
to take
I'm like,
stuff.
Gene, take your pills.
There we go.
Gene, the red one. Gene, take the
You're
red
right.
one.
It is red.
See,
yeah, it's totally red.
There you go. And I'm going to take some CoQ10.
Okay, now I'm going to take some cocaine.
Slightly different. Same effect, maybe.
Wake up a little bit. Mm-hmm. It wakes you up in the morning.
Up all night dealing with tech problems or just driving a big rig.
I wasn't actually. No, I was earlier in the day. I did a little bit of big rig driving with some friends. We got a server now. Oh yeah, I was going to mention that on the show.
Wow, you were taking this big time.
There is now a publicly accessible Atlas gaming server that people can get on and get in a convoy with me and a few friends.
Woo!
Yeah. So if you would like to do that, I'm gonna give Darren a code to include in the show notes.
It's code Bongino. Just type in code Bongino and you will get.
Definitely not that.
Oh, okay, sorry. That was a different code.
Mm-hmm. You're thinking of pillows.
Oh, yeah, the pillow guy, man. Never bought a My Pillow. Are they good? Should I buy a My Pillow? Are they beautiful?
I don't
pillows?
either, but I probably will. Ben's been buying them for years, and he thinks they're great.
So it's actually a quality product, not just a, hey, we like this guy's politics, so...
well, it's a combination, or, it is, there's a lot of reasons to buy them.
True. It's good to support somebody that is anti-woke.
That agrees with you.
Every now and then, anyway. I mean, if somebody makes the greatest product in the... I mean, as long as they're not, killing babies. Although, wait, that's the Democrats.
Yeah, that's a different company.
The convention, I mean, this is very interesting. The fact that I'm sure you've heard the Zoom call that was scheduled for like a week from now, where the Democrats were supposed to name Joe Biden because Ohio has a different, always has. It's not like the Democrats didn't know it. An earlier shutoff time where, hey, after this, you can't change the ballot. Well, that call was canceled, so I don't know what's going on. Are they not going to have anybody on the Ohio ballot?
Well, the rumors yesterday were that Biden has finally agreed to not run again.
That was the rumor. No backing of that as of yet.
Incidentally, I'll send you this so you can stick it into the show notes. But here's the code you need: 855-683-929-31888289.
Listen, we a number station now? we should just do 2 hours of that. 5, 9, 8, 7, 3, 9, 4.
Okay, now you're confusing people. Ignore Darren. 855-683-929-31885289.
Echo, Charlie. My chair's gonna fall apart.
Don't even go there. Echo Charlie.
Tango.
Mm-hmm.
This is the world we live in currently. That's a beautiful day.
So make sure you put that in the show notes. People are counting on you.
Well, you'll have to send me the actual text because you think I'm writing.
You didn't get it?
Did you think I was writing this down or something? No.
Too funny.
No, we do not. Hey, DigiGuru finally showing up in the troll room. About time, dude. We do these shows at 10 a.m. We expect you to show up.
Mm-hmm.
You think we're just here to hear ourselves talk? No. Or wait, are we?
Well, I'm here to hear you as well, not just myself.
The interesting thing will be, there's allegedly a lot of money that can only be got from the Democrat war chest that has been brought in by Biden or Harris. Meaning that Kamala at this point, from what I've heard, I don't know how much is true or not, but she has like $100 million head start on anybody else because she has access. I cannot
imagine she's going to run.
I can't either, but if she's the only one that can have access to that money, now the question is, can she be the VP again and get that money? I'm guessing maybe she could, but why would she want to take a VP role again? And the intriguing thing is this could come back to just being Days of Our Lives. This could come back to being soap opera-y because this is all rumor. This is all anonymous sources, so I can't be vouched for, but from what I am hearing, Biden and his wife are going to refuse to back Kamala Harris. They're going to refuse to endorse her. So if he does drop out.
Yeah, apparently there's some kind of thing between Kamala and Jill.
Well, because Kamala called Joe an old fucking racist during the primaries before he picked her because it was a DEI hire.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never liked each other from what is being said. So at this point, this is the ultimate fuck you, which is, nope, not going to endorse you, which does throw the Democrats even into more of a state of disarray. If the Democrats as a whole go, hey, we're going with Kamala Harris, and Joe is like, fuck you, nope, not endorsing her. It'll be interesting. Not that people put that much into Joe's words at this point because they're barely understandable. And I will say, whether you like Donald Trump or not, 90-minute speech yesterday, about half, maybe 75% on the teleprompter, but still a decent amount off. Not a single word that I was like, wow, I don't understand what he's saying. He can make cognitive
points. You're getting
points.
Used to it. That's good.
Maybe it could just be that I'm now and I have that ability. I know I do. So I always have to try to be more careful because even when Ozzie Guillen was managing the White Sox, Ozzie, he's from Venezuela. He talks very fast. Ozzie Guillen managed the White Sox. Venezuelan dude, talks really fast. For some reason, I could always understand Ozzie. When other people are like, what's he talking about? Like, I don't know. I can tell. Just same thing when we were in Ireland. And there were a couple times we'd get out of a cab and my wife and the people we were traveling with were like, how did you understand what he was saying? I'm like, I don't know. I just do. Maybe there's something in my brain that's like the babble fish that just kind of eases everything out. But I've always
clear your ears out.
Right. It's kind of, maybe it's like, this is, I don't know. But it's not a bad thing to be able to understand what people are saying, or either that or I'm just totally delusional and just imagining what they're saying.
Yeah, maybe your ears are compensating for your eyeballs.
Could be. I've always had really good hearing. So, I mean, I believe that kind of that concept that you don't have good eyes, you're going to have good something else.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. But I had no issues with the Donald Trump speech. The convention appeared to be more of a rock show than a convention.
It was a little bit out of idiocracy.
Wasn't it? I mean, you literally had Hulk Hogan. And I love Hulk Hogan. Don't get me wrong. We are from that era in the WWF when the Hulkster was big.
Pretty well.
Oh, no doubt for the abuse
for an 80-year-old dude. He's still ripping shirts apart.
I mean, he's got to be in his 70s, right? I don't think he's not 80 yet, but he's got to be.
He's pushing 80.
He's up there.
There's a photo of Trump with him from the 80s. Like, they've known each other a long time.
Well, yeah, Trump he likes the wrestling, the UFC. He likes all of that kind of stuff. That's like, what's the matter with the Hulk, brother? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's one hell of an entertainer. And I mean, that's when you look at, do they still
Trumpomania?
Right. Trumpomania, baby. Does the wrestling, I'm assuming a big part of it, I haven't watched wrestling probably, well, since I start getting laid. I mean, that was probably the big change.
But so for a couple decades at least.
Yeah. The is the back and forth verbal assaults, or is that still a big part of the whole thing? Is
McMahon still running it?
Yeah, he is, right? So it's the same.
Well, there you go. There's your answer.
This is the beauty of it. It's like it was the throwaway
and in the tradition of McMahon, we even had Trump's granddaughter up on stage.
Yeah, well, this was genius in the fact that they've gone out of their way to humanize the guy.
That's what the Democrats are saying. Oh, they're just trying to do a fake humanization on him by rolling out some kid.
His actual family, right. They're doing such a fake thing by bringing out his family and throwing him out there. It's like, but this is, I think, what
Grandpa grabs women by the pussy.
It's like, no, not hearing that. Not hearing that from...
Yeah. No, I liked her. Can't really say much about her for another year, but...
Right. Exactly. I was like, wait, because at first I'm thinking, is she in college? I mean, she looks older than the 17 that she is. But then again, she had heels on that were like, 4 inches? I mean, they were...
or more.
Yeah. They look dangerous.
She's not a short gal to begin with.
Look dangerous. And I liked the guy that then yelled out once Don Jr. came back on, was like, Trump 2040.
Yeah.
I think she'd only be 34 then, so I think it's got to be.
Yes.
I think it's got to be 2044. But I can see this whole Trump lineage going down. And
I think plenty of people would be fine with that. I mean, that we had calls of Trump 2024 for Ivanka.
Right.
Back in the day.
And
people
Don
are like,
Jr.
oh, she's getting political. She looks great. What else is there?
It's the way you do it. It's the way you start these legacies.
You mean how for most of the history of humankind, there have been families that have ruled?
Yeah.
Huh.
Royalty, baby.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And there's been the evil ones like the Clintons.
Wait, you think the Clintons are evil?
I've heard that.
It's funny because if I had to rate, I totally...
Look up Clintons and CrowdStrike for your answer, folks.
But I totally, if you were to say, let's rate the evilness of Hillary Clinton, I am pegging the meter at a full 10.
Of dynasties, yeah.
You know, but I'm pegging the evil meter on Hillary at like 10, and like Bill, I'm like 2.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill's all right.
Bill just wants to drink, smoke a cigar, and get laid.
Plenty of times that if there's any living presence that I wouldn't mind just having a drink with, it'd be Bill Clinton.
Yeah, he seems like the fun kind of a guy that...
oh, man, he's got so many stories I'd love to hear.
Yeah, because those were the good old days. He didn't have the internet to worry about.
No. I mean, the guy basically lived on Epstein's Island.
He's like, got to get rid of those. Got to get rid of those books. Hillary, got to get rid of those books. No, don't let anybody get those. No, don't want to do that.
But also, you kind of understand the guy, given that he's married to a lesbian.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is it. This was a match made in politics, not anything else. And Bill's kind of like, well, I don't want to be married, but I mean, he had to be married to become governor. Right. But I'm saying he
back
didn't
in the day
want to be
that
married.
When if you weren't married and you were in politics, you were probably gay.
Right, but he didn't really want to be married. And it's easier when you have a shrew then as a wife to point to the young chicks like, I'm fooling around because you know my wife, right?
Well, they had an agreement from the get-go because she wasn't interested in men, and the only part of it was you're not supposed to get caught. And she was pretty good at not getting caught with other women until it didn't matter anymore. She's been married to Huma for years.
Yeah.
But
no conspiracy theories here.
For many years, she was a lot more inconspicuous than Bill was. Bill couldn't,
Yeah, she waited until Bill had his moment in the sun until she jumped into her own career.
Right. But she's been a lesbian her whole life.
Well, that's not her career. I mean, I don't think she's get paid for that.
No, her career was getting Bill into power.
Then it worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Became president.
They were each other's beards, essentially.
But I thought the way that it was handled with the Trump family was done very well. I loved the granddaughter who had to be like 5 or 6 or somewhere in that range that comes out, hugs him, like sits on his lap, and that has really no interest at all in what's going on.
Well, obviously.
Because, you don't at that age. But obviously, it's like the kid wasn't. You noticed a few things, Democrats. The girl was not afraid of Donald Trump, and he never sniffed her once.
He never sniffed her, exactly.
Joe Biden, that would have been nonstop sniff camera.
There's somebody recently that I was reading, and they were making a point that, sniffing kids is not at all unusual and that lots of people do this.
To babies.
I started thinking back, is like, I think that's correct because I've seen a lot of people do it and I've never understood it. I've never smelled kids. I have zero interest in that. Hell, I don't have an interest in smelling adults for that matter.
Geez, like I'm not big into sniffing anything.
No, not really. I mean, I just, I think that for the most part, smell is a very underdeveloped sense in humans. And so typically either people don't smell particularly appetizing or they have way overdone fake smells to the point where they're also no longer appetizing. So it's like, what the hell, man? That smelling is the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, it's not
on
my
dog.
list.
You'd be smelling crotches all the time.
Well, yeah, because that's a different thing for dogs. They have it built into their DNA.
Yeah.
Now, Joey, why he sniffs the, I don't know. Somebody'd have to ask him. I get it. People do that with babies. They're always like, oh, that baby smell. And, I don't know. I'm not really.
Yeah, the closest I could say is that there is a new car smell.
Now, tweeting 2 hours ago, the Podfather Adam Curry says, CrowdStrike, Ukraine, DNC server, Clinton, pew pew map, glitch, change the news cycle. That's true. It is changing the news cycle. Very true. It could be that distraction. This maybe was too, the Democratic people were a little bit worried that the Republican National Convention seemed to play well. And I don't think it was full idiocracy, but there were definitely, hints towards it with like Hulk Hogan and in Kid Rock. And it's like, I don't know if this is necessarily, and I like Kid Rock. I will listen to Kid Rock. I got a bunch of his albums, even on vinyl.
Yeah.
But I don't
like
know.
him, but I've never heard a single thing he's done.
I don't know if I'm going to him for my political stuff. I mean, I like Uncle Ted Nugent because he's a Republican.
I like Kid Rock's house.
Oh, I saw the house. It was like 1 bedroom and like 40 rooms of just crazy stuff.
Entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, that's all I need. 1 bedroom and then 40 rooms to entertain.
He's got a good house.
It's a big enough house. You could have 2 girlfriends and they'd never meet each other.
Yep.
Gene's like, I need this.
Exactly.
I need this. But I thought
that's a good stuff. Well, let me ask you a serious question. What do you think of JD Vance?
I have very little information. He was not on my radar. I mean, I never really paid attention to him.
I don't think he was on most people's radar.
The background story appears to be really good. I mean, how many politicians before the age of 40 have their autobiography, which was hugely successful even before this, I guess. They made a movie about it and it's on Netflix. Who else has that kind of press kit available? So when his name does hit that, oh, he's going to be vice president. I mean, a lot of people are now reading that book and watching.
Oh, yeah. I think the book sales have definitely gone up for him, which is interesting.
So the reason that he was picked, from everything that I'm hearing from reliable sources, the criteria was who would be the most loyal to Donald Trump. He did not like the end of the Mike Pence years. He did not like that. And he wants somebody that he believes will be loyal to him. And it's quite interesting because the left is pulling out, as they do, what he said about Donald Trump before he was elected in 2016 and shortly after. And there were some very negative things. Now, what the left doesn't understand now, because he's being asked about this and he's like, well, I learned I was wrong. You never hear the left say that. Oh, you know what? We learned we were incorrect. You know, hey, you said Trump, Hitler, oh, Trump bad, Trump horrible. Now what? He's like, well, I thought he was going to be a horrible president, but he wasn't. He was good. That's the difference. And this is what people don't understand. Back in 2005, when the White Sox won the World Series, the baseball prospectus, which puts out every year their predictions for what's going to happen, had the White Sox as either a 4th or a last place team and said there wasn't a whole lot there. Then the team went on to win the World Series. So, now, if you were to ask the people who wrote that book, they'd be like, well, we were wrong. We got it wrong. We just didn't hit it we didn't hit a home
prediction.
Run.
You can't do those.
Well,
incidentally, if anyone else has any issues, you can delete Windows/system/system32/drivers/CrowdStrike/ C000000291 star.sys. Go ahead.
Isn't that exactly what CSB said?
No.
He said it was C-000000291.sys.
Oh, he did have the asterisk in there? I didn't think.
Yes, he did. I just didn't give the asterisk. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, you bastard. See?
I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Gotta have the asterisk in there. I was like, I think there's more than one file.
But CSB was correct as always.
Wow, look at you kissing ass after he stopped donating and said that he's never going to give you any money.
Well, because I don't care if he donates or not. I only want him to donate if he likes the show.
Mm-hmm.
I just said
he likes the show. He just doesn't like you.
Well, I don't deny that. I'm just like, I'm not going to guarantee anything. Like, the show is great. But I mean, he goes back and forth.
I had him banned for a year.
Right. You remember at first he hated the Russian guy.
I think he still hates the Russian guy.
Well, that you can't blame him for that. It's going to be interesting with the Democrat convention to see, for so many reasons now, on how this is going to go, because I can't see how there's anything normal, anything that can be pre-planned that is still going to be able to happen, because they are in complete disarray at this point.
Yeah.
The one thing that seemed to be clear from the Republican National Convention, there's something the Republicans have never been able to do, that it seems like they're finally getting closer.
Well, having a good candidate?
Well, going in lockstep. Meaning that having Nikki Haley get up there and say she is backing Trump 100%, that this is where her support is a little unexpected, because the Republicans, there's usually enough infighting where they would not come together. I think this has finally gotten to the point. A lot of people who have said negative things about Donald Trump, including Bill Barr, not the comedian, Bill Barr, that's like after the assassination.
Bill Burr said a lot of negative things about Trump.
Yes, he has.
He's a Democrat.
And the people that are not Trump fans that are finally getting into the ring going, all of the stuff that has been thrown at this guy in the vein of he's a threat to democracy, he's Hitler, he's a Nazi, he must be stopped. All of this stuff is what's dangerous. This is what drives somebody who is a 20-year-old mush brain to take a rifle and try to kill the guy. It's because of the...
Have you been following the conspiracies?
Well, there's way too many of them. Why? Which one are you buying into?
The second shooter and the third shooter conspiracy?
Yeah, I don't buy that for a second.
Okay, but there is a video, though.
Oh, is this the Zapruder film? What's the video show?
The video shows somebody on top of a water tower.
And where is this water tower? Pennsylvania still, or is it outside?
No, it's definitely within shooting distance.
And where's this video? I didn't see video of this.
Yeah. Just do a search for water tower Trump, and then I'm sure you'll see.
Sure, we'll just do. There's too many conspiracy theories.
Well, there's some of them that definitely sound very hokey to me, which is somebody that doesn't understand the way that like bullets work, explaining why there has to be multiple shooters, because several people were injured that were, standing in slightly different areas behind Trump. And that I can definitely say is an argument by somebody who has never hunted in their life. But this water tower footage is very interesting, because it does seem to show that somebody was up on top of a water tower, and there was nobody before and there was nobody after. And there's even a video of a bystander person saying that somebody climbed the water tower. Now, we also had the Secret Service on the other roofs, the ones that allegedly shot the shooter.
Right. Now, it sounded like there were two different snipers that were firing at the shooter. One was a Secret Service, and one allegedly was from local law enforcement.
Yeah.
And
then
word is that it was
also said that they only provided traffic control.
And the snipers, I guess. That could be, you could be using the snipers for traffic control.
Maybe, but unless
that story is
control guy climbed up there.
I don't know who was the one that originally said that they had snipers from local law enforcement as well, because you would think
that would be the Secret Service.
Okay, so they're the ones that said there was another sniper group from local, and allegedly it was
I think they're. They saw another sniper, and they assumed they were from the local police.
You're part of our thing, right? If not, that's a kind of a security risk right there.
He was wearing a bulletproof vest.
That's all you need. Something that says FBI or police on it. Then you look totally legit.
Yeah.
But according to the reports, one shot from the Secret Service sniper took out the guy with the AR-15, and it was a 22. I mean, that is just not good planning to have
the Secret Service uses a 22?
No, the kid that was shooting the gun allegedly that he bought. When I looked it up, the whole thing was a round of 22 ammo. So I think this was an AR-15 that shot 22 rounds. You can go with different.
I think that's again, people that don't really understand guns talking about this, because the 223 cartridge that the AR-15s use is a 22 cartridge,
right?
But it's not the 22 cartridge.
What do you mean it's not the 22?
Well, when I refer to 22, I would typically be referring to 22 long rifle. But technically speaking, the ammo or the bullet, I should say, that's in the 223 cartridge that a lot of AR-15 now shoot, is also a 22 caliber cartridge. It's just, or a 22 caliber round.
Right.
The bullet that's the diameter of the bullet is what I'm getting. It is 22. But when somebody says 22, referring to guns, usually what they're referring to is a 22 long rifle, which is a much smaller round that you typically will, kill rabbits with and stuff like that. For your sake,
But it would still be on the smaller end, right? The net says a .223. Is that?
Yeah. It's a 223, yeah. Which is 5.56 millimeters. So my point is, it's the same caliber bullet, but in a different cartridge. So it's way more powerful than a 22 long rifle. But there could certainly be people that would just call it a 22 if they're not really gun people.
Because
most newspaper people would be.
Well, this is true. Well, because you're going to tell you this was an assault rifle. This was a weapon of war, because, you see a lot of people in the Taliban shooting little 22s.
No, they're usually shooting AKs.
Oh, why is that, Gene?
Cheaper.
And more killing power?
It's arguable. There's one of the reasons that we went to this round, because, back in World War II and one, we used 30 caliber and like a 7.62 cartridge, or an actual, I think World War I was actual 30 cal, so like a 30-30 rifle round. But there's a few reasons that the U.S. Adopted Eugene Stoner's design with the smaller cartridge for Vietnam era. One of which is you can carry more ammo because it's lighter. And then two is the calculation was actually done to see what is worse for the enemy. And what's worse for the enemy is to have people wounded rather than killed. Because if you kill somebody, you take out one guy. If you wound somebody, you take out that person plus somebody else that is helping to carry them off the battlefield. So you're actually much better off wounding people in a battle than you are killing them, because it takes more people off the battlefield.
Interesting concept.
We adopted a smaller round because it does, and incidentally, for military uses, they don't use hollow points. They only use ball ammo, and so the ball ammo will absolutely injure somebody. It'll put a hole in their ear, but it's something that is less likely to kill somebody immediately. And the Russians, they were still using a 30 caliber round. So the 7.26 by 39 round is what the AK uses. And those rounds are heavier. They do, they're more likely to kill somebody than the 2-3 round. You can't carry as many of them with you. But they didn't really switch. But more recently, like in the last 15, 20 years, they have actually also switched to a smaller round. So, like the AK-74, the standard ammo for that is also I can't remember the exact size. I think it's 5.45 by 39, if I remember right. But
and this
could be wrong.
This wasn't a long range rifle, so this was not. Although this was not long range, this was way too close for comfort. Sniper. I mean
it's 150 yards,
right?
So it's about 135 meters, which is typically for a rifle, you're going to be training at 100 yards or 200 yards or longer, but like you would never train any closer than 100 yards.
Well, and
this was barely more than that.
Right. Where if you are a professional sniper, the records are over a mile long, a mile away from the target.
Yeah, but those are all 1 in a million shots.
I understand that, but when you're like, okay, then you bring it down to this range.
But here's the important part. Most hunting shots are going to be at a longer range than this shot.
Right.
Like if you're hunting deer, your stand is usually going to be more than 100 yards out.
You don't want to be 5 feet away.
But you also don't really want to be a crazy far distance, because then your chance of missing is going to be a lot smaller. But you want to be far enough away that deer can neither smell nor hear you.
Yeah, and you don't want to chaining somebody.
You don't want to be what?
You don't want to chaining somebody.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that was actually duck hunting, wasn't it?
Might have been. It was some kind of hunting. I knew that.
Yeah, I think it was a shotgun.
Don't go hunting with Dick Cheney.
Well,
for so many reasons.
Yeah, many reasons, exactly.
But the conspiracy there, I mean, the concept that this was somehow a Trump plan thing, it's like, you know how much insane...
I love hearing people say that, because these are all lawsuits for $1 billion.
Uh-huh. Well, and being that
we have a precedent now.
Yes.
We have the Alex Jones precedent, which means that if you claim somebody is faking actual deadly events, that's $1 million lawsuit.
Yeah, take them out. They should be out of business.
Billion. What am I saying? $1 billion lawsuit.
This is how bad the media is that they cannot get off of the hate Trump bandwagon to cover anything legitimately. Then which one of these major networks had some moron that was like, well, Joe Biden now has COVID, so if he gets over this, isn't that like the same thing as Trump getting shot? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Getting a cold is the same thing as getting shot in the head?
For an old man, they're both deadly.
Well, for anybody, I guess, getting shot in the head is deadly. So, I mean, I would think that would go right to the top of the list. But this is the kind of hatred that is out there. I was tuned into News Nation, which Chris Cuomo has come around to being very...
Yeah, but what do you expect? The arguments being used to say that this is all staged, that, or even if it's not staged, this is what Trump's rhetoric leads to. This is what happens when you spew hate and you're a Nazi, is that you're bound to get shot. This is literally the same argument that people use for why Hamas attacked civilians.
Right.
Like, well, what do you expect?
Well, this wasn't what Chris Cuomo said. He covered this thing fairly. Well,
Cuomo, I don't know what the hell he's doing. I think he's trying to get a job on YouTube or something, because he's had a rash lately of saying things that counter the main media.
Counter the narrative.
Almost seem like he's rational. Almost.
Yes. That he's kind of getting it. It's that he's making sense and he's not frothing at the mouth. I mean, it's almost like he lost his job or something. We did, but he's got a new one now with a network that is trying to be the fair and balanced actual network, because they have liberal people on, they have conservative people on, and they seem to want to separate factual news from the opinion, which is good, because in order to have a valid opinion, you got to know the facts. Because if you're not getting the facts, then your opinion is worthless. But Elizabeth Vargas is on this panel with him on this show, and she is horrible. Horrible. Still going through the stuff, as was Kravitz, I think her name was, on ABC with, well, Trump was the one that said there was going to be a bloodbath. It's like, economically, in the auto industry. And you know this. This isn't even a question of like, wow, we were blindsided. We can't believe that was the context. It's like these people know it and they keep repeating it even after somebody took a shot at the guy. It's like, if you, as you just said, lawsuits, man, if you don't think you're complicit, I think there'd be some very interesting lawsuits possibly moving forward.
Well, and I love the stuff that Libs of TikTok is doing right now. It's, in fact, I subscribed to, so start giving money to her, because she is doing the heavy work that most people are too chicken shit to do, which is going after the people that are saying that the shooter, it's too bad the shooter missed, is what they're saying. Right. So she is going after those people. And by going after them, I mean using their tactics from the past, which a lot of wishy-washy conservatives out there don't like. That, well, we shouldn't be doing that. We should be better than them. Let's not use their tactics. It's like, yeah, that's why you've been losing for the last 30 years. Congratulations. No, let's switch tactics and actually fucking win for a change, and not be wishy-washy bullshit Republicans. Because what she's doing is, to her, I don't know how many millions, probably 30 million followers, she's posting video links of people who were recorded saying that, essentially what I just said earlier, and then updating those posts with some regularity of notifications from their employers that they've been fired.
Nice.
And it is absolutely the right thing to do. And I think that we need more people to actually start doing things and getting action. Because what most conservatives are great at is flapping their lips. The same thing we're doing right now. They're all great at discussing things and providing their opinions and interpretations, like, oh yeah, the Democrats are horrible people and they're screwing us again. Okay, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Well, nothing. Well, then you literally deserve what you get. Because if this goes back to my something I've repeated multiple times on this show, and I believed my entire life, which is every country has the government that they deserve. Well, what about dictatorships? Yeah. When you're too chicken shit to do anything about a dictatorship,
right? Guess
what? You deserve to have a dictator.
Especially when they first start coming in. That's one guy.
When you have a completely inept, senile president that is ruining the economy, ruining international relations, not following laws, and encouraging half the country to kill the other half. Yeah, you deserve what you get.
It is
if you do nothing, then what you get is what you should get.
I know.
When people start pushing back, like Chaya is doing, then you absolutely start making changes instead of just reacting by talking about them.
Well, it's quite interesting, the clown world we're in, where you have the media that will report that it's the Republicans, the MAGA people that are the violent ones.
Mm-hmm.
When I know I'm biased, but everything I can see tells me the opposite. And it was interesting was you're talking about.
You can't believe your lying eyes.
True. Exactly. That's what the Democrats will tell you. But I mean, this whole saying it was a good thing or the guy shouldn't have missed, that took down Tenacious D, man. Can you believe that?
Yes, I was one of the guys that was pushing for that. I was on that campaign.
And it's interesting because Jack Black.
Say stupid shit.
Yeah.
Feel the results.
But before this, a few weeks ago, Jack Black released something like, the president asked me to back him, and I'm happy to do that. I love Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, the minute his buddy, his partner in crime, I don't even know the guy's name, the other half of
Kyle,
the other half of Tenacious D on stage gave the old, the guy just should, don't miss next time, whatever. Jack Black's like, whoa. He didn't want to fucking get canceled. I get it. He's smart enough, I guess.
No, that's not what happened. Jack actually totally agreed with the guy.
Really? Well, then he should be gone too.
You should. Well, he should be gone, and he will be gone.
He's the one that
tour is canceled now.
Jack Black put out a thing saying he was blindsided and that he doesn't support what the guy said. So
yeah, he was blindsided. They're both now claiming that it was a joke gone awry in the moment, not pre-scripted. Yeah, that's because you said what you think.
Right.
But the actual clip it's Kyle's birthday, so they do a big birthday congratulations. Well, what do you want for your birthday? Well, I'd like the shooter not to miss. And the audience all clapped, or at least most of them clapped. Now, this is an Australian audience, so what do you expect?
Yeah, they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. But very quickly,
except for Dale from Down Under,
up on that,
if he was there, he would have known. Dale would have he would have pulled out his AR and he would have gone to town on those people.
They don't have ARs down there, but yeah.
It would be okay. It's backwards. They have RAs then, right?
All right. Yeah. No, Australia got rid of their guns a while ago.
Boating accidents, lots of them.
You'd think so, but I don't think there are.
What happens if a wallaby comes to eat your baby?
No, you mean a drop bear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Drop bears are dangerous, man. That's a real thing.
The koalas, is that what you're talking about? Or the
drop bears, man. They're vicious.
Are you talking about koalas? Or I've never heard
I'm talking about drop bears, man.
What's a drop bear?
Oh, man. You don't want to get next to a drop bear in Australia. I've been there. Trust me.
No, I don't want to go to Australia. I'm afraid.
No, you don't. You really don't. Anyway, so yes, I think as a result of this, Tenacious D should cease to exist.
Well, and I think that people need to be a lot more, and I think the internet has a lot to do with this, as easy as it is to point to this. It's been known a psychological thing for years, and this goes back to one of the reasons people hated video games like Grand Theft Auto. Was you are dehumanizing people by putting it in a game that you can shoot them or pistol whip them or do all sorts of violent things. And the internet and social media has taken this to an art form. And you see all of the stuff that's been thrown at MAGA people and Donald Trump specifically. And if you don't think this is going to lead to violence, I don't think you have a rational cell left in your brain, because the more you tell somebody, if you hear day after day stories about a particular person that is doing horrible things to people you like, and he's just, again, Hitler or whatever, you want to throw in there. If you don't think that is going to encourage violence, then again, you have zero capability of thinking rationally anymore. This is not the way that the United States used to be with politics. Yeah, there was enough back and forth, but there was never a demonizing thing. There was I don't know anybody that, as a conservative Republican, if Barack Obama would have gotten shot would have been like, oh, I wish they wouldn't have missed. I just don't know anybody that would have had that reaction, be like, oh my God, this is horrible. And, this whole people not being able to do their jobs, the comedy of errors that we saw. And there was nothing clear, because I'm sure you saw the video as well, because it's been played back now, of the Reagan assassination.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, the Secret Service were like professionals and they did their job and they didn't look like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. The Secret Service has taken a huge hit in the nose, or what's the saying? They've got a black eye.
Yeah.
Because the Secret Service has historically been one of the least politicized, less political, and most, how do I say it? Very black and white. They're right. Like the Marine Corps of the protection services. They're they're actually greatly made up, or used to be, of folks that were in the Marine Corps previously. I've always had a very high opinion of the Secret Service. I've spoken in front of the Secret Service. I've done some things with the Secret Service, and these guys are always very, almost stereotypically, just like
serious and focused
guys that don't deviate. Like everything's very clearly defined and very black and white. There's not. It's a very much the opposite culture of the CIA. And so to have them fumble this badly was very disappointing to me, because that clearly is the result of the last 4 years worth of DEI.
Yes.
Being the policy and effectively diluting them to the point where something like this can happen.
This would
not have happened 4 years ago.
No, I don't want the Secret Service going, well, we need more women. Well, if the woman that is applying is the most qualified person, then yes, I do not want you to turn them away. But this whole, well, we want to have at least 30% of our agents be female. It's like, well, that is idiotic. That is idiotic. A decade ago,
the average person in the Secret Service was over 6 feet tall.
Right.
How can any women work there?
It is, you'd have to get women that are out of the WNBA, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they'd all be trying to smuggle drugs into Russia.
Well, there's that. There is that.
It is a protection service. It's one of the key functions that they provide. They also do other things like money laundering investigations and whatnot. But
well, yeah, if you're going to go and try to print money in your basement, they're going to be the ones to come breaking into your door. Now, the one thing I will give them a little bit of leeway was a clip that was played on No Agenda. That it's interesting that this was then allegedly scrubbed from further airings of the video, which is you have the female Secret Service agent saying, "What are we doing?" Now, to me, I am not taking that right off the bat as they don't know what they're doing. I'm just assuming we've got 4 or 5 exfil plans. If something like this happens, we're on top of the president. Now, what are we doing? We doing A, B, or C? What are we doing? To me,
but again, they're not supposed to be asking. They're supposed to have practiced this.
Oh, I would assume, but it's like, well, is there somebody in charge?
And I love the meme that's come up with the photos of like the male agents hugging Trump and literally putting their bodies in place, and the female agent about 3 feet away and clearly not in a position to block anything. And then there's a line drawn between them saying wage gap. This is the wage gap right here.
Well, I mean, there are some things that you need a big bruiser. I mean, JCD, John Dvorak on the No Agenda show pointed out that a big dude is, the bouncer type dude. That's kind of makes sense. I mean, they may not move as fast, but I mean, this is why you normally see these guys as bodyguards.
Yep.
For a variety of reasons. Like, you don't want the little 5-foot petite woman as the bodyguard. I mean, she could be great with the gun. That's fine. She could be a particularly good sniper. Perfect. Mm-hmm. But there are certain things that you just need the brawn for. And there were people then questioning, like, how did Trump even get away from the Secret Service to get that very iconic picture taken? It was like, well, because it was the woman right there that he was able to. And again, nobody was going to stop
and there's
Trump.
a version of that image. I think there was the Bee that did it, that basically has all the Secret Service, which are all women in there, all hiding behind Trump.
I can see that.
And it was like, well, it ain't that far from the truth.
I mean, the reality is,
but there were 3 short female Secret Service agents there. Again, it's DEI is so stupid.
Yeah, I did find it interesting to see Brooklyn 112 of the beautiful the artwork with his quote for the last show, pointing out that he was putting on his loafers. The fact that Trump was hit so hard by the Secret Service that his shoes came off, I thought was interesting. You know, it's like, how does that happen? I mean, have you ever watched a football game and then somebody all of a sudden his shoes came off when he got hit? I don't remember seeing that. I mean, maybe it's happened, but I thought that was
that's not unusual at all. For the shoes to come off when
I guess he's not
like pushing you.
Yeah, I guess he's not wearing cleats, and they're probably loafers, so probably it's not like he had a high top basketball shoe that was laced all the way up.
Exactly.
Maybe he should. That'd be a cooler look for him.
Yeah, he's just wearing regular dress shoes. Those are going to pop off pretty easily.
Got some loafers, and then he's putting his fist up in the air. They're like, well, this is too perfect. That was planned. It's like, no, the guy just has fucking balls the size of grapefruits, man.
Yeah, because there's a video of the photographer who took the photo. Everybody's ducking balls, except for this guy.
I know.
He's standing getting the picture.
This guy's moving, and there's somebody, I think it was, I forget which coverage I was watching, and they're like, so this guy, as shots are being fired, is holding something black in his hand and moving towards the president. I'm like, that's a good point. That's how good you got to be as a security agent here, is to understand, what's a gun and what's a camera. Could get really bad really quick. But I understand where the conspiracy theories come from, because this guy was wearing also a GoPro, which maybe was just a backup way for him in case, you missed the exact shot, to have something. But the fact that you had that from his perspective was amazing.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a very good shot. So both the video and the still came out really good.
And Trump making the point that this crowd did not panic. And it was very weird watching that. It's like, nobody's moving. Nobody's like all of a sudden running for the exits. Like, they're just standing there as the bullets are flying. And then I'm thinking either really brave or really dumb, but probably somewhere in the middle.
Well, what can you do? I mean, you're on the bleachers with people to both sides of you.
I mean, I get down. I try to.
A lot of people did get down. A lot of people went down.
It's like that.
I mean, just getting down is probably the best reaction, but
get down. Well, Trump did right behind that barricade.
Yeah. Well, he's been trained,
and he had that.
Even though it didn't make any difference because the shooting came from the side, so the podium did not really provide any cover. It was just.
And because to the podium, I could never figure if that's just a straight or was there any kind of wraparound. There might have been something on the sides for him.
I didn't see anything on the sides. I hope moving forward that they start using podiums like the one that the Pope had, that are a lot more wraparound and glassed, with plexiglass.
You kind of have like a phone booth thing going on.
Yeah, it's not plexiglass, but it's, the stuff that'll slow down a bullet if not stop it.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, Trump's accessibility in general has been fairly surprising for a guy running for office in a hotly contested kind of run like this, because there are crazy people, aside from all the conspiracies where they tie in the government to plot to do something, there's also just crazy people in general. And this dude, one of the funniest videos I saw, I have to say, that came out immediately after is of that comedian that has I don't know what his disease is, but he's like super short and his limbs are barely moving and stuff. Yeah, basically he looks like, Ren and Stimpy looking character, except he's in real life. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I do not. But then again, I watch nothing.
Him. Yeah. But you've seen him. He's basically, he's a guy that does videos and stills of him acting in situations where most average people say that's just not right to put somebody that's handicapped in that position.
So he puts himself there for
it's like self-deprecating kind of thing. Yeah, because he's got like a severe it looks like he's a dwarf with muscular dystrophy is what it looks like.
Double whammy.
And his face looks deranged. Like his eyeballs are at different heights and stuff. Like definitely, like birth defect kid.
Is that what he goes by?
No, but that's kind of what he looks like. And he's got a YouTube, comedy channel and there's a bunch of, he makes videos where you watch him, you go, that's just not right.
That's his bread and butter, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter. That's what he's making. So he had one where he's, on a fake roof with a rifle and like clearly barely able to move because of his handicaps. And then the Secret Service was like, what? Nope. It's all clear. Nobody there. And then he goes, yeah, my face looks nothing like whoever the hell a shooter dude's name is. I can't remember. And then they do a 1-by-1 site comparison, and it's like, well, yeah, actually, the shooter did have like one droopy eye, and he's kind of got clearly not a perfect looking symmetric face. He's got a deranged face. And then we have the video of the shooter come up as part of the BlackRock ad.
Well, yeah, which is just weird.
Uh-huh. And then it turns out BlackRock actually owns the building that he was on top of, which is also interesting.
Well, we were told the roof was just too much of a slope to put anybody on top of it.
And Elon Musk immediately posted a picture of the Tesla truck saying, the Tesla truck has no flat roof surfaces, just saying.
Can't get on top of it.
Well, certainly the government agents can't.
Well, this is be free from government agents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I saw, finally, driving down the street the other day, it was in a parking lot, but I saw a Tesla truck, first time.
Oh, you did? Okay. What'd you think?
Thought it was ugly as fuck.
It is kind of like a bulldog or a French bulldog looking thing in the sense that it's both ugly and cute at the same time.
It looks like somebody built a car out of cardboard and painted it metallic.
Well, his thing is that he wanted to make a car that looked like it was right out of Minecraft.
Well, that he had succeeded with that. It's an 8-bit world, baby.
Yeah. And he's joked about that, or at least I think it was a joke, where he's basically said it's an 8-bit car.
Well, he also says he's an alien that a lot of people don't pick up on.
You mean other people say he's an alien?
Well, he said he's an alien.
Well, but he just likes to joke.
He's not from here, so technically he's an alien.
He was an alien, but he's no longer an alien.
Right. Well, now he's been naturalized.
Yeah, he's a naturalized alien.
But he was an alien.
He was.
And people will not pick up on I don't think he's Canadian. That's a different place, different continent. You're off just a little bit.
Canadian's different continent?
From South Africa.
No, he's Canadian.
I thought he was South African.
Well, he's born in South Africa, but his mom's Canadian, which makes him Canadian.
Oh. Well, there's a lot of that going around now. Like, well, if your grandparents came
that's
here,
true for most countries, is that if your parent is from that country, you can get a passport as a kid.
Or even your
if you weren't born in that country.
Right.
No, not your grandparents.
No, some you can go back further. I don't know why, but I think like Ireland, if you can prove that
that's because they're desperate to get people. So
I don't know. They're getting overrun by immigrants now.
Yeah, which is they shouldn't have been accepting any in the first place. What the hell do they have? What business does Ireland have in accepting people from North Africa?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I'd say zero.
It's like if you think the United States can't handle the influx.
What's his name? Colin McGregor?
Yeah,
Ireland for the Irish?
Yeah, he's not happy. Give Ireland back to the Irish.
Well, he should be. Yeah. Again, Ireland for the Irish.
How
many wars did Ireland have to fight to fend off the British just to be invaded by North Africans?
Yeah, and people go, no, you just have to let them in. Yeah, they're totally screwing up your culture. They're totally changing your way of life. But no, you have to.
Yeah, you know who's not letting in all these people?
Hungary.
Russia.
Or Russia. Okay, but Hungary as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you really, should we start flying people into Russia? Because we could just start taking the migrants, some flights.
Yeah.
And just send them.
We've banned all flights to Russia, but sure.
And I heard that California is flying people into Texas, which is just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, because Texas doesn't have its own problem with people coming over the border, but these asshats in California and the federal government are paying for these flights, I guess. Well, no, we'll just send them to Texas.
Yeah.
If this isn't going to lead to a civil war, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although Trump is going to close the border on day one. He did it last time.
The border with California, hopefully.
That would be, can we get rid of California? That would be better.
Been saying that for years.
Definitely would be better.
Yep. Be much, much better for us.
Hey, Mark Kodra just came in with a $3.33 donation via PayPal.
Oh, nice. PayPal. Yes, we prefer those anyway.
Why? Because the other ones, you just don't know where they go?
Because there's no guarantee that I get any of that.
You're like, what? No. Wait, what do you?
The PayPal ones, that's different.
You got an Albi. That's okay. That works.
Sometimes.
Really? You still having issues? 95% of everything now I send to my own
Well, you remember,
node.
The last issue I had was because you forgot to include my code. So that was an issue.
We didn't really want to pay you. It was kind of.
Exactly.
There was a very big groundswell.
No issue. We just didn't want to pay you.
Right.
Okay.
The people were like, don't really send money to Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to do that.
And then Darren's just putting like all money from all his shows into one account. It's like, well, I can't really figure out what's what and who's who, so I'll just keep it.
Well, that is the problem with a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, there was a service that was out there that just shut down called Conshacks. And this was going to be all these people were going to do the fucking shit and they were going to be all for podcasters and give us money. And then, oh, fuck you. They just go, oh, I guess this isn't going to work. So we're going to something else. So much for that. But it was the one place. And I don't know how you even do this in Albi. Can somebody tell me with an Albi account how I can get the information on the sats that have come in for a particular show? Because these third-party things like Conshacks was able to show me what came in for Unrelenting, what came in for the other shows, and you could separate them. I don't see any way to do that in Albi.
Well, there's a very easy way to do it. Have separate accounts for each show.
Yeah, but that isn't what I've got. And this other thing was able to do it, and that was just connecting to Albi. So what were these fuckers able to get from the Albi data, and how do I just download it? I mean, if I could download it to a CSV file, I'd be fucking fine. Because then you'd be able to see what everything is.
Can't you just do a sort by date and then see what time each of these things came in? That'll tell you what show.
No, it doesn't, because they come in at all times. I'm doing shows live and there's other shows getting boosted at the same time. It happens all the time. Yeah.
So people are boosting a non-live show?
Yeah. Well, they listen when you can stream while listening.
I guess. Yeah. No.
So it really, there has to be a way to do it.
Yeah, get a separate account for each one. That's the easy way.
Well, that would be the easy way, but now you can't do that with Albi because they're kind of going to be shutting down anyway. All this shit's going to be shutting down, which is unfortunate.
Well, LB is too now? I haven't heard this.
No, well, I haven't heard anything official, but the fact that they're starting to claim these are money transferring things, it's going to get very, very questionable very quickly.
Well, you certainly can't set one up without sending in your driver's license anymore.
So now, I'm bringing everything into Helipad where I can download it and I can get the CSV of everything that has come in, but that just means everything doesn't go into Albi, which is fine. But
why don't you just ask CSB.ai what it is?
You tell AI, it will do whatever for you. But it's like, this was supposed to be the grandiose thing, that this was going to be great, and then nobody ever really built anything out. I know there's another one which just doesn't work. Tell the boardroom, says C. Brooklyn. Yeah, well, they know. 3333, thank you. They're coming up right after us, right here on the Mighty No Agenda stream, the podcasting 2.0 show.
I think there's nothing wrong with like buying and holding Bitcoin, but a lot of this sort of new tech stuff is, well, they even tell you, like, you can't download anything that uses sats without it showing a big, bold message. This is beta only, and the network is liable to go down and should not be used for any real life functions.
Well, it's being used for a lot of real life functions.
Which, incidentally, I still have. I'm going to shut the damn account down probably in about a week, but I still have never gotten.
You're still waiting
those
for
transactions
some clearance
cleared. I mean, they can't do anything. They're just like, oh, well, that sucks. It's like, yeah,
I would like to
money
help you.
tied up on your network that I can't get at. That does suck. You're right about that.
You're like, how do I get my money? They're like, oh, we don't know.
Well, the last thing, remember, that got freed it up was you need to change to our more expensive plan. So I did that.
Yeah, and then to turn off the automatic updates.
And then it freed it up from the stuff that's been sitting there for 6 months, and then immediately started using my money to open up new channels that now cannot be closed.
Well, it was for your convenience, to be fair.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, that's true. It was for, and then he also said, oh, you must have signed up for this. So I'm like, dude, I haven't touched my account in over 6 months. No, I did not sign up for this. There's literally no place to turn that on or off. It can only be turned on by contacting support. And because you're in support, that I haven't contacted support. So how the hell did this turn on? It's crazy. I just hate throwing money away, but there's nothing to be done.
It's self-aware, Gene. It's doing it for you.
It clearly is doing something. That's for sure. So yeah, PayPal works, guys. PayPal donations, those actually work.
We appreciate it. And the lightning still comes through. Now, like I said, 95%. I only have some going to Albi because if the node ever goes down, then I wouldn't even get any kind of notification. But then again, I wouldn't get the money either. So I guess there's that.
Yep.
It's Bidenomics. Doing great, man. That's how the donations have gone way down all across the board in podcasting over the last 4 years. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, and to be fair, the actual Bitcoin network runs just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's specifically, I'm talking about the sats, the Lightning network.
Yeah, and the value of the Bitcoin very is much creeping back up.
Yeah, let's see. What's that? 66,481 right now, looks like.
Creeping up. Mm-hmm. Send all your Bitcoin to Gene and I right now. We'll hold it for you.
I'll take Tesla stock. If anyone wants to send me that, that'll work as well.
Only full shares? Is that what you need?
Naturally.
So you could just send that to Gene as well. He's got his P.O. Box 666, Austin, Tennessee, Texas.
What the hell? Whatever. Trying to steal my money again, damn.
Sending it to another P.O. Box. Just send it to Elon Musk in care of Gene.
Yeah, actually, that would probably get here.
He'd be like, oh, Gene, I got your mail again, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
Stop them. Tell them not to send it to Tesla anymore.
Oh, did you see also that Musk is moving the rest of his companies to Austin?
Yes. Well, it was very clear that he wants out of California. This was talked about on No Agenda because of taxing and how California is getting way more aggressive going after people that then get out of the state. They think you still owe them something.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah, they go for people for years after people leave California.
It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly what voting for Democrats gets you. I'm not saying I'm biased, but California is the Democrat stronghold of the country.
Yeah, if you want to know what Democrats want, they want California for the U.S.
Yeah.
They want gasoline prices to be $10 a gallon.
Well, you should only have an electric vehicle.
People driving electric cars, but there also be brownouts, and you're not allowed to actually charge your electric car except for specific times.
Right. And you're only allowed to drive 3 miles a week.
Your children are not actually yours.
Right.
They're owned by the state, and the state can decide anything they want to do with them.
Well, that was the latest thing going in California now, is that the schools are not allowed to tell parents if the kids have a different gender identity or anything along those lines.
So your kid can show up to school, and then the school will dress them in a dress.
Right.
And they'll go to a girl's bathroom if your kid's male, or I guess a boys' bathroom if they're female. And, you're not allowed to know about it or do anything about it because not really your kid. They're California's kids.
It's an interesting legal precedent being set there.
I think California is going to become the first state to start getting Sharia laws, because the pushback against California liberalism will come, but not from the wishy-washy Republicans that we have. It'll come from the illegal immigrants, aka aliens, that end up in California who are Muslims and start electing Muslim leaders, and will bring Sharia, which will just shut down all the politically correct bullshit. I've said this for a long time. Like, Islam is the antidote to feminism and to the liberalism. It's unfortunate that it also comes with a whole bunch of stuff we don't like. But they have no qualms about shutting down things like child pornography and, anything that is deemed as being of the devil. They don't talk about it. They don't burn books. They burn people.
And they bring good shawarma.
They bring good shawarma sometimes.
I made some good chicken shawarma last night, man.
See, now you're getting me to think about ordering lunch.
Yeah, I know. It's this it's in a glass bottle. I think it's Tati, something like that is the brand of the
shawarma?
Of the shawarma marinade. Yeah.
Oh, marinade. Okay.
So we put it in yesterday, had like 2.5 pounds.
What's the brand again? Tits?
It's TA. I think it is TA something. I can look
Tatas?
It might be. It's like Tatas. Gene's like, get me some Tatas. It might be something just like that. It's like, it sounds right to me. But it's good stuff. And I just,
how long did you marinate for?
Usually, with this stuff, it has a little bit of a citrus base, so I don't like to go totally overnight, but I usually put it in. If I'm making it at night, I will put it in like when I'm having lunch. So it'll be in there for 5 or 6 hours.
Okay.
Maybe that. You can do a little bit more.
It's a little light. 5 or 6 hours should be a little.
But then I just cook it just pour it all in the pan and cook it all.
Oh, you cook in the marinade. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're using it as a sauce as well.
Exactly. So by the time it's done
have
cooking,
you tried vacuum marinating? I think we've talked about this in the past.
I have not. I need to figure. I have a vacuum system somewhere, but I haven't seen it since I think COVID was the last time that we had that out, and we bought a bunch of steaks and stuff and went, we need to freeze this.
Vacuum systems are great, man.
They're awesome. I mean, especially if you need to freeze meat.
Freeze meat, or put rabbits for sous vide, or store ammunition so it doesn't rust. There's all kinds of uses for that.
Put your ammo in there.
Yeah. Got bags of vacuum sealed ammo. That's the best way to keep it.
You were very close. It is Tita Foods. Teta. Tita Foods.
I was just making a joke, man. It turns out it's close.
Tita. I knew it was something like that. It started with the T. It is shawarma marinade, and it is
garlic.
Delightful. Let's see if we can get the water, cider vinegar, lemon juice, olive oil, canola oil, garlic, spices, salt. And,
so the canola oil is the only bad thing in there so far that you've mentioned.
But otherwise it's just they're telling you just spices and garlic.
Yeah. I mean, you could also just take all those ingredients you read off, except for canola, which is horrible for you, but all the rest of them, and just put them in there yourself without buying a bottle.
That would work.
Yeah.
And then you make
garlic and either citrus or pineapple are very easy and quick and fast and tasty marinades.
And then I picked up a couple of containers of banana peppers. Oh, the banana peppers on the shawarma, so good.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of onion, got some fresh onion, so I chopped that in there.
I've been still eating the ground beef that I bought for July 4th. And I over purchased.
Would you get like 35 pounds? And I'm assuming you froze some of this?
I got like 12 pounds, yeah.
And then nobody showed up for the barbecue. Was this
pretty much?
This was like the Gene Unrelenting meetup at barbecue.
And
he's like, where, no. Oh, I forgot to list it. Oh, damn it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. Well, next year.
You got a lot of barbecue. Everybody coming out to Gene's for 4th of July next year. The first Unrelenting International meetup.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we've been talking about doing a just a good old boys meetup, but I'm trying to steer that towards Ben's neck of the woods.
Because you don't want people anywhere near your house.
Multiple reasons, but
I mean, really, to be honest, how many snipers are on the exterior of your house right now?
Of my neighbors' houses or my house?
Well, if your neighbors, they're trying to get you. I thought maybe you had some security on your house.
I've got a very slanted roof here.
So that's very dangerous.
Can possibly get in there. Yeah,
very dangerous. Slanted roofs are very
impossible to be on this roof.
You're lucky then.
Yeah. I mean, I do hear gunfire occasionally, but it's usually not the neighbors.
Are you in an area? Well, you're in a very populated area, so you're not.
Oh yeah, I'm urban, man. I'm like 2 miles, if that, from downtown.
Were people more around where the Podfather is, when you can go out back probably and shoot near? Some people.
Well, the Podfather was like a quarter mile away from me when he lived here. So,
but no, he had to get, which is why he left. We've covered this.
Which is why he left. Yes, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, they're pretending that they didn't even know, Tina, that you did a show called Unrelenting.
What is that all about? I might have to check that out.
Well, that was good. This is what people do in marketing, because it's otherwise you'd be like, oh, that show sucks. No, it's like, oh, wow, I should check that out. You should too.
Yeah.
CSB.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. If CSB says you should check it out, you should probably check it out.
Yeah. CSB.ai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The AI king of the universe. I'm waiting for him to get his big break and have the big CSB AI that makes $1 billion. Then for sure he'll donate more. I thought
he was working on that with you.
He was trying to get Bemrose to help him with something, and that never worked out.
Oh,
I guess.
Well, that's his first mistake.
Right. Ryan gets easily distracted by shiny things.
And also doesn't like people.
Well, he does. This is maybe true, but he doesn't like taking direction from people. So
no. You could just stop it.
He just doesn't like people.
And Ryan, who, if he's listening, is going to confirm that very shortly for you.
No, I'm no doubt that he would, because when there was some joke and somebody said something in the troll room the other day, referring to dates as in, the thing you would eat, not. Right. And I just made a joke like, Bemrose's wife won't let him date or something. And he's like, if you met my wife, she would set me up to get me out of the house. Like, okay, see, that seems more realistic.
Yeah.
That seems like the same place we are. And this is the humor that doesn't get picked up. Bill O'Reilly, Big Bill, was on the Jon Stewart show the other day.
Oh my God. I was going to, because are they still buddies? They are buddies. Okay.
They are. Not only did he do the 12-minute slot on the show, they did an hour together, which I haven't watched yet, but they did the Stewart's podcast. They did about an hour. Mm-hmm. O'Reilly said it was a very good debate, but during the 12 minutes on the regular show, they made some kind of jokes, like O'Reilly's like, oh, all your friends here in the audience. And O'Reilly's like, I don't have any friends here. And Jon Stewart was like, what do you mean here? And O'Reilly's like, okay, I'll give you that one. They were bantering back and forth. And he then made the comment like, oh, a lot of people don't know this. It's like, I really hate this guy or something like that. That was the headline CNN ran with for over 24 hours was the quote from O'Reilly. Hates,
O'Reilly.
Quoting him saying, I hate this guy. And it's like, but again, out of context, it was obviously in a joking manner, but CNN don't fucking care about reality.
You mean Trump trips and has to cancel his
rally?
Rally? Yeah,
Trump startled by loud noise, which sounds somewhat like a gun firing.
Yeah. Trump trips, Trump startled. Exactly.
Trump cuts his ear on something that wasn't a bullet. Right.
The Bee had a funny thing last night or this morning where they said additional charges coming for Trump from the White House DAs for failing or interfering with a
assassination.
Officially sanctioned assassination. Yeah, exactly.
I can't see now. Again, this shows you how far down the rabbit hole Joey Mushbrain is. That he wants to push for taking away any immunity from the president.
Right.
Like, whoa, dude.
Well, he knows he's going to be dead soon.
Oh, well, this is the only thing. But you know what? You know who's going to have him whacked? Would be the president who killed American citizens with a drone. Obama going to be going, wait, don't you take away my immunity, you fucking son of a bitch.
Oh, it's not retroactive either. That's the other thing.
No, it would only be going forward.
Yeah.
That's not how the Democrats do it. They want to make new rules today and be like, well, you did this 45 years ago and we changed the law yesterday, so.
Yeah, but there's no point in them making it retroactive because the only people in the past are going to be Clinton, Bush.
No, they
Democrat.
want Bush. But I guess he's gotten to be more.
He's a Democrat.
He's gotten along those lines.
Yeah. And incidentally, did you see that photo that's been popping up of people who were notably missing from the Republican convention, which is the biggest rhinos?
No, who was missing? I didn't really even pay any attention.
Shit. There's like 5 or 6 of them in that photo, and they're guys like that former speaker guy. What's his name? Ryan.
Paul Ryan, right? Well, he's a dick.
They're all dicks. Like all 5 of them are dicks. They're all total rhinos. But as of course, the mass media is making it's like, oh yeah, the Republicans are so extreme that even their own party is not even going to the convention.
Sure.
Like, nobody wants these people here.
No.
The only guy that was there, notably, was Karl Rove. But most people dislike him greatly.
Well, and they're trying to, it seems at this point, to show a certain amount of unity in the party. Very surprised that Nikki Haley was asked to speak and throwing her endorsement. She could have done anything if you really wanted to be, playing that game, although she wants to be president.
I think that's very dangerous because...
Oh, it is.
If Nikki Haley is giving you her endorsement, it means that there's going to be another assassination attempt.
Or it means that
she wants to be the main person becoming
I think
nominated.
She's thinking 4 years down the road. You can go along with that as well.
Yeah, no.
Gene is predicting another assassination attempt before November.
Yeah.
And again, as we've talked about, there is really nothing put into place in the law of the land for swapping out candidates for any reason, which is going to lead to chaos. And this will then
it's
possibly,
all state laws, so we can't quite say it that blanketly. These are all state laws, not federal laws.
Right. But you know what would have to happen to get this changed that quickly? It would not really work. It's going to be chaos if there's any kind of last minute swap that needs to be done. once the ballots are set, they're going to be like, well, we can't put them on the ballot. I mean, you could always do a write-in.
Yeah. So one thing that my buddy Ben suggested is going back to the old system where the top election candidate becomes president and then the second place becomes vice president.
But then the vice president's always trying to kill the president.
Yeah, and that's what we had initially.
Correct.
When we started the country.
Well, because we thought this was kumbaya and we would have a representative in the, the second highest office. Like, wow.
Yeah, and I think it was when Jefferson was the VP is that became obvious was not going to be workable.
Well, and the party would be like, well, we won. We have the will of the people. We got the votes. In the case of a president could die for any reason at any time. And going, well, then the party that didn't win gets to take control. That doesn't quite make sense. But this is where the oddity would come. If we do have an election where nobody gets the required amount of electoral votes, the House of Representatives picks the president, the Senate picks the vice president. So there's no guarantee that they would be from the same party.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could definitely happen. And we've got right now a Democrat Senate and a Republican House.
And that's where the voting is going to be very interesting because it is the incoming Senate and House that would vote. It is not the outgoing.
Right.
Which means really it's important that you vote for your senators and House members, kids. Because they may be the ones.
Unless there's a delay in election, which there was in Georgia last time.
It's going to be interesting to see.
So not everybody was seated.
It's going to be fun.
It is definitely seated. The other interesting thing is that Jefferson had a different vice president, or he had two vice presidents over the course of his term.
How do they swap them out? One.
I didn't realize what happened. Yeah, Aaron Burr was the original vice president, and George Clinton came in during half of Jefferson's term.
So way before he was in the Funkadelic All-Stars.
George Clinton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, that's interesting.
You can swap out that VP, and if you don't get, really, what happens?
Yeah, what happened? Did he die? I don't even know.
I'm not sure. We need to do some homework.
I think he died.
Which then it makes sense, because then you just get to put another one into place. It's not like there's
die. No, I thought Aaron Burr died, but no, he was still alive after that. So what the hell? How did he end up leaving the VP position?
I don't know. We'll have to answer these questions and more on the next episode of If You Thought This Was Scintillating Conversation. You'll have to show up for the next episode.
I'm going to go back to sleep. Sounds good.
Is it the whole CrowdStrike? Is he still getting texts?
Go to sleep.
Format C:.